YouTube, it's Joe Cacciapaglia sitting on the couch, making some money, investing in fractional real estate online. As usual, it's Friday, so I'm going to do my 52-week challenge review, what I bought this week. If you're not familiar with this, jump in our Discord or just look at search for the video on my channel that says 52-week challenge. All we're doing is, there's a group of us now, actually quite a few people are taking part where we're just committing to buying one small piece of real estate every single week for the next 52 weeks. I think we're at like 49 now, but we're just getting in there, talking about what we're buying, sharing some thoughts about it. Just sort of an accountability group, although nothing so formal. Right now, there's a couple of you that are just messaging back and forth with me privately. I think that's fine. Some people are putting, some stuff in the comments, and then there's some people who've joined the Discord that I set up, our generic fractional real estate investors site where, you can talk about any of the channels, not just limited to one of the platforms where you can invest. Um, if you haven't joined that, there's links in the description below. Before I forget, please like and subscribe. And also any of the sites that I mentioned that I'm invested on, I will have links in the description to those sites. And before I jump into what I bought this week, I wanted to just throw out a couple of sites that people have alerted me to that I have never heard of before. And I'm curious if anybody watching has seen this. So the first one is called fractional.app. This actually looks more, it's like, they talk a lot about building relationships and community. And so, like, you find other people on here, then you find deals, and then you commit to doing the deals together. But it seems to be that you're owning properties. It's blockchain backed ownership. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I haven't really dug into it at all. Just curious if anybody's heard about this one. And then someone in the Discord mentioned this Realty, and it's realtyusa.pulse.is. Mentioned that this might not be open to U.S. investors, although it's all U.S. real estate. And they seem to be located here in the state or in the country, in Florida, not my state. I'm in Texas. I don't know. I went on there, so some of their social media, tried to reach out to them. It does seem like there's no way for me to actually be able to sign up. Um, but it's because I get redirected to hear from their other actual, their other site is like .co or something. And it seems maybe that I'm getting redirected to here because, of where I am or something. I don't know. So if anybody's invested on there, I'd love to hear about it as well. Either of those platforms, or if you know anything about either one, I'm going to try to, see what else I can figure out. Especially this fractional one seems pretty interesting. Has a pretty big minimum investment relative to everything else we've looked at. But I don't know. Well, I'll dig into that and see. But so what did I buy this week? Let me see. I started off, we picked up some more Garden Gate. If you haven't been following along, this is a property in Harvest, Alabama. I've been buying it anytime it dips below $30. It's a tiny bit below that now, although I didn't own it. It didn't buy. I bought up to here, but you can see I got some at like closer to 25 or 26 today, or not today, but this week. It's just a 2014 build. It's got a tenant in it. It's not a great rental yield relative to a lot of the properties that I'm buying, or relative to some of them, right? But it's a fantastic discount for what I believe the real world value is, right? And that, just as a reminder, just because I'm investing in any of these properties doesn't mean that you should. You should do your own due diligence on the platforms and the properties themselves. Don't just jump in there and buy whatever I'm buying because it might not fit for your risk tolerance. It might not, for your goals as an investor and everything like that. But so this is one I've been buying pretty much anytime it goes below 30. It feels like it's one of the few deals that I have that's a combination between decent yield or yield, not great yield, but some kind of yield, and also value. Most of mine are one or the other. I bought some more Odom. This is definitely the other, right? There's no yield on this. This has been operating as a midterm rental for about a year. I've been buying this one whenever it's cheap. I think I own quite a few tokens of this. I actually have more staked than that. But my average basis is somewhere around $28. So I've been buying buying that down whenever. Now I'm getting a pretty big stake in this one, so I don't know. And the owners, so I've been buying this one with the hopes of us selling this in the real world. We've had a vote that we're going to list it, um, but we've kind of had a little bit of an impasse on how we're going to get there as far as listing it. And so, I had proposed a vote that we needed to raise some capital to fix a few things to get it listed. And so right now it's actually just, as far as I know, we're kind of in limbo. It's not being managed as a short-term rent or as a midterm rental. I might have said short-term earlier, but this is being as a midterm. But the reason I want to sell it is I think it's worth a decent amount more than than my average token price. I think when we sell it, we'll net somewhere, around $40 per token. I think it'll be a reasonably quick sale, and I don't think it will ever yield. I don't think it'll ever be a high yielder. So there's no real good reason to hold it long term. And so this is really just a value play where I think I'm buying it well below what it's worth. I don't think it's a great investment property, but I think it's a great property. So I think it'll sell, for a decent price, and that'll, if hopefully if we can sell it this year, and I'll make a real good return. But if it takes a couple of years to convince the other sellers or other owners to sell us, I think I'll still do okay because there's, it'll be a pretty good delta between what I bought it for and what I think will net. Um, Another one, this is one that we have for sale. I've been buying for quite a while. I say that I've only been buying any of these for at most 6 months, right? But this is one, yeah, it's currently listed, I believe, at 70, or maybe we just did a vote to drop it to 70, 70,000. And if you look at this, at the current price, right? And I think let's look at the outstanding tokens. This is one that I'm shocked it's so cheap, right? So, and it hasn't sold, so we still haven't figured out exactly what it's worth yet. But let's look at this, okay? 1723, and let's say you pay all the fees right when you buy it, 1869, and then we're multiplying that by 1,486 tokens outstanding. That's a price of we're paying $27,000 for this asset. We currently have it listed for 28. Let's say we currently have it listed for 70. Even if we have to drop it down to 60 or 55, it'll be a decent profit over what it's current over this current amount. Now and the other owners seem to be on board with just getting it sold at whatever it is, because every couple of weeks we've been dropping the price another 5K. I think we started at 85 and we've been dropping it down, um, 5K at a time. Is that right? Let's see, what's the most recent one? Proposed the vote to drop it to 70. That's so we'll see. Like I said, I think if it gets down to 55, we're still pretty happy relative to what we're paying for it now. And my average basis is somewhere around this current price. This week I picked up some tokens at like $15. So it's shocking to me that people are doing that, especially where we're already set up to have it sold. It's listed. Yeah, sure, it hasn't moved yet, but we have the wiggle room in the price, and I think that we can get it going. Um, I bought some of these again. Another one, you can tell there was a theme this week, right? Almost everything I bought was just about the discounts. That's the great thing about this, right? Like we do the work up front, we figure out which properties that we want to own some of, and then every time it dips, we buy some more. This one I actually have quite a bit of it in the liquidity pool too, which is why it looks like I don't own a whole bunch. But this is one I think I just passed 5% ownership of this one this week. But it's one that I keep buying on the dips. It is in St. Louis, which is in a market that on Lofty in general we've had a hard time with managers. I actually called and talked to the manager that we switched to on this one. He's someone who's in the same system as the broker that I work with here in Texas. They're the part of the same franchise, and so between knowing that and talking to him, I feel real good about what their plan is and having him take over. It is still taking a while to get it listed to inspect it, but when he took it over, there were a lot of problems. This is going to be an interesting one because either He'll get it going, it will rent, and it'll be a really good yield, based on what we're expecting it to rent for. Or that's not the case, and we'll sell it. And this is again another huge discount to what I think the real world price is. And I think that if we don't get it rented with this manager, I think the other owners would jump at the chance to sell it with me. So, again, just another discounted one. I think probably all of these I've bought little pieces of since we started this challenge already, right? And I might have shown you some of these already, but every week, that's one of the things that I just get to keep doubling down, just keep basically lowering my basis in these properties, right? Because every time there's a dip that's below what I've paid for in the past, I'm lowering my average. Sorry about that. Just had a little technical difficulty. I was just mentioning that, by buying each time it dips, I'm lowering my average basis, which is one of the, interesting aspects of fractional real estate that you don't get when buying whole property. So it's something I'm really trying to take advantage of. That's everything I bought on Lofty. On Mogul, I bought one more little piece of this 4604 Fagan Street. This is that short-term rental in Houston. If you watch my original video of this, I didn't love it compared to a lot of their others, but I think it is actually, uh, you know, I think it's only because I'm comparing it to their other deals. When I look at it compared to other deals, um, on other platforms, I think it's actually, pretty attractive. And the reason that I keep buying these little pieces is I got a little $50 referral bonus, and so when I combine that and I buy the 250 minimum, it's like getting, a 20% discount on it basically, because you have to use, anytime you get one of those, you have to use it on there. So, um, you know, I already bought some anyway, and as long as anytime that I have one of those, I'll probably buy 250 in this one until they get a better one up there, right? Like hopefully they get more like the Axelrod. I really like that one. The Road seems to be doing well too. But this is the only one that I like that's available right now, and so I bought a little piece of that. And then I bought, what did I get? Pieces of 11 notes on ground floor. And so I had a couple more notes pay off. And I just spread those payments across these 11 notes. They're all, you can see it, they're arranged from A to D, as far as their grades, and they're, anywhere as low as 10.5 up to 13.5 interest rates. My strategy on this platform has just been extreme diversification. You can see only putting 20 or 30 bucks in these. All I'm doing is whenever I have something pay off, I'm taking all of that money and spreading it out between every single note that they have available for sale at the time. Um, I'm not really doing anything to be discerning about what it is. I'm just counting on one, wide diversification, and two, their underwriting, right? If at some point I have heard from a couple other owners that, or investors that invest in some, in ground floor, that their returns have decreased over time because they've gotten more and more non-performing notes. And if I start to see a pattern with that, because I'm obviously always looking at which ones, that happens to, I might become a little bit more picky. Um, but at the moment, I think that like if you look at what they're doing with their flywheel portfolio, they seem to really just be buying some of everything, and I think that gives you a good indication that they think that their interest rate is a good relative, creates a even risk adjusted return, right? And so I don't know with the information that we have that I'm really going to be able to dig into the individual notes and know it's something more than they do about the relative risks, but it's something that at some point I might do more, especially as I put more money on the platform. If I'm starting to have a minimum investment per note of 500 or 1,000 bucks, which I probably will do at some point. All of these platforms that I'm using quite a bit, I'm expecting to at some point put a lot of money on. um just once I feel a lot better about them. So, but that's it. I think yeah, that is everything. I didn't buy anything on Collab. I didn't buy anything on Sol's Lot. Those are the only other two sites that I bought on so far, because I am still looking at lots of different sites. Um, I'm looking forward to Arrived having their their resale stuff, their secondary market stuff, and I'll probably buy when that happens. We'll see. We'll see what those deals look like. Still looking at Arc 7 all the time, and they're not really seeing anything. So anyway, part of the 52-week challenge. Jump in either to the Discord or the comments, or even send me a message. Let me know what you're buying. Let me know why, because I'm curious. I think it's and if it's one thing, if you're buying one property, that's fine. I know I'm kind of all over the place, and I'm buying pieces of lots of different stuff. That's because I'm trying to take advantage of the diversification, but it's also because I'm spending a lot of time on this stuff because I think it's the future of real estate, and that's the industry I'm in. And so I'm really just trying to learn as much as I can and try them all out. Sometimes it does feel like there's just so much opportunity. Um, it's tough to decide, right? And so that's why I think that if we can all talk about what we're buying, why we're buying it, some of the deals that I've done already were ones that I talked to other people in Discord, on the Lofty Discord, or just in private messages, and we were sharing ideas, and some of my best deals came from talking to other people, and it's to a certain extent, especially on Lofty, we are competing for the bottom of the dip, right? But I've found that it's not like any of us have endless capital, right? And so I think the benefit of working together and sharing some thoughts is greater than any, maybe increased competition to buy into some of the properties that I'm buying, for example. Like, I would much rather have some other intelligent co-owners in some of these properties than to just have people that are going to make crazy decisions. So, like, I'd love it if all of you bought some Odom, and next time we had a vote, it went through exactly how we planned, and not, hey, let's just do nothing until we come up with a better idea, which is sort of the situation that's in. I think we need to come up with I was talking to a couple of the other owners on that one. We'll have to come up with a vote. That's it. Nice short video for today. That's everything I'm buying. Let me know what you're buying, and let's see if we can keep this going. I think each week I'm talking to probably a couple more people than I did the week before. um, I really think there's a benefit to sharing our goals, trying to have a little bit of an accountability, not skipping weeks, right? Like, um, I think just really getting out there and finding deals and putting capital to work, and being able to do it in a way like this, just as a reminder, if you've got $10 a week, you can buy one ground floor note a week, right? Like, it doesn't have to be you're spending a whole bunch of money. I mean, you can see some of the tokens I'm buying, right, are buying $15 tokens. Maybe I only bought on this one in particular. The price seems to move a lot, so sometimes I'm only buying 3 or 4 tokens at a time in this one, right? Some of them, the prices seem to. I was able to buy a decent chunk of raiment. I think all of these, maybe that aren't in the pool, maybe just 20 of them, were this week, and it barely moved the price. So, um, that's one aspect of this of Lofty that I still don't fully grasp, is why prices move so much more on some than others. But now I'm way off on the tangent. That's it. Let me know what you bought. Let me know what you think about what I bought, right? If you think, oh, you're stupid, why are you buying this one? I'd like to know that too. I don't mind getting some feedback that way as well. In any case, until next time, I'm gonna just keep making mistakes so that you don't have to.